the silent monarchs of the night. As dawn stretches across the valleys of Central Europe, light spills over patchwork fields, vineyards, and forests sculpted by centuries of human hands. This is a landscape where wild and cultivated coexist. Deer emerge shyly from the tree line, pheasants dart across hedges, and hares scatter at the sound of distant bells. But the most mysterious inhabitant of these lands is absent from the daylight chorus. She waits, cloaked in silence and shadow. The owl. For thousands of years, this bird has been more than just another animal in the countryside. To humans, she is a paradox, revered as a symbol of wisdom in ancient Greece, cursed as a messenger of death in medieval Europe, and today, a fragile survivor of modern industry. The barn owl's exodus. Inside the rafters of a collapsing farmhouse, ivy winds through cracks and beams. Here, a barn owl has built her refuge. Her ancestors once nested in cliffs and caverns, but centuries ago, they adapted to human structures. Barns became their caves, and towers their forests. Now, even these sanctuaries are vanishing. Modern agriculture, with its sleek steel silos and airtight warehouses, leaves no space for animal tenants. Her face, shaped like a pale heart, acts as a living radar dish, channeling the faintest rustle of a vole in tall grass directly to her hidden ears. Her feathers are masterpieces of engineering, each edged with comb-like serrations that split air currents into silence. No other bird moves so invisibly, and yet, invisibility cannot save her from the slow violence of habitat loss. Forced to leave, she drifts across the fields. But the landscape has changed. Where once mice thrived on spilled grain, today's mechanized harvest leaves nothing behind. Where once meadows hummed with insects, pesticides poison the food chain from the ground up. The owl searches, but hunger drives her further into danger. A landscape of rivals and survivors. She arrives at the edge of a wetland reserve, one of Europe's largest, where wild cattle and free-roaming horses graze under vast skies. But these grasslands suit nomadic birds more than her kind. European rollers flash turquoise as they swoop for dragonflies. Avocets sweep their curved bills through saline pools, raising chicks where the water tastes as salty as the sea. Bee-eaters nest in sandy cliffs, returning from Africa to fill the air with their calls. Each of these creatures has carved out a niche, and each reminds us of the fragility of survival. The roller nearly vanished when its feathers were prized as ornaments. The avocet was once hunted to near extinction before reserves gave it sanctuary. The bee-eater is both celebrated and persecuted, admired for beauty but blamed for stealing bees. The barn owl watches them, but knows none of these places belong to her. When hunger overwhelms caution, she hunts in broad daylight, a dangerous gamble. A golden jackal prowls nearby, its keen eyes scanning the fields. Above, a harrier circles, locked in an aerial battle with a short-eared owl protecting her nest. Every creature here is caught in the endless rhythm of survival. Shadows of superstition. The barn owl finds brief hunting grounds among the graves of a village cemetery. Mice thrive here, feeding on seeds from wreaths and offerings. Yet, centuries of human imagination have turned this natural partnership into something sinister. In old Europe, to see an owl perched on a gravestone was to expect death. Their calls were believed to summon illness, famine, or demons. Churches condemned them, branding them accomplices of the devil. Ironically, in other cultures, owls were honored. In ancient Rome, the little owl was sacred to Minerva, goddess of wisdom. In indigenous traditions across the Americas, owls are seen as messengers and guardians. It was fear, not truth, that inspired persecution in Europe. Countless owls were killed, nailed to doors, or burned to drive away evil. The superstition spilled over to other nocturnal creatures, wolves, jackals, and even harmless nightjars, all victims of human misunderstanding. The forest refuge. Flying onward, the barn owl discovers what remains of a primeval forest. Towering oaks stretch skyward, their hollow trunks alive with bees and fungi. Here, another owl lurks, the Ural owl. Larger, sturdier, and once hunted to extinction in much of Europe, the Ural owl is now making a comeback thanks to conservation. Nest boxes, often nothing more than wooden crates, have allowed them to raise young once more in Austrian forests. Volunteers and scientists band together, releasing owls back into the wild with a dedication that rivals ancient mythmakers. In Hungary, long-eared owls are cared for after injuries, marked with rings, and returned to the night sky. These efforts reveal a modern truth. Our relationship with owls is shifting. From omens of death, they are becoming symbols of resilience and coexistence. Through the seasons change. Autumn rains flood the valleys, stripping leaves from the trees. Winter brings biting cold. Yet still, the barn owl endures. In one collapsing barn, she shares space with a little owl, an unlikely truce. Where food is abundant, even rivals can coexist. Centuries ago, little owls perched openly in Roman courtyards, tethered for entertainment by the wealthy, while their wild cousins hunted freely in the fields beyond. Now, they too face shrinking habitats, yet continue to persist in church towers and orchards. The snow deepens, but not all owls struggle. The Ural owl, Europe's heaviest native owl, thrives in winter. With eyes that pierce the night and talons strong enough to take a hare, it rules the frozen forests. Where others falter, it prevails. Silent future. Our barn owl's journey is far from over. She has endured abandoned barns, empty fields, rival predators, superstition, and the bite of winter. Her feathers carry the memory of generations, each one shaped by both evolution and human history. Owls are more than hunters in the dark. They are barometers of ecological health. When mice vanish, so do they. When forests fall, their voices fade. Yet every successful breeding program, every nest box in an old tree, every farmer who leaves a patch of rough grass for rodents to thrive is a step toward their survival. As spring stirs again, the barn owl lifts into the warming air. She glides silently across fields that hum once more with life. Her story is not simply one of loss, but of endurance. She is a shadow among stars, a hunter in silence, and a reminder that even in the modern world, wildness still waits in the dark.